when you start to lose motivation, you find it again because you're so passionate about the problem. I'm sort of glad, that comes across because we do put effort into it to try and make sure there's a variety of content and keep the branding consistent and all that stuff. Instagram it's still ruled by an algorithm, and that algorithm does keep changing as well. And we find that it's very hit or miss because sometimes we post stuff and we're like, this is so crap. And then it does okay. And then we'll post other stuff that we put like a lot of effort in and it doesn't do well. And we've also worked with influencers and partners on Instagram. And we've also found like it doesn't matter how many followers they have, because sometimes we'll work with someone with a very low follower count, but their content does well. And then other times we've actually paid for content from influencers that have a lot of like a really big account and we put like a lot of money on it. I'll put it in context. It's still a lot of money for us, like maybe $1,000, right? Which is a lot. I think it's a lot of money to do one post, but apparently that's the going rate. When you have like over a certain amount of followers, doesn't mean it does well. Like we haven't got a return on that. And sometimes we spend $200 and it's great. Like, so it's still very hit or miss, still very unknown. We haven't cracked it. I'd be lying to say if we knew. Like it's just, we're still experimenting a lot. And in fact, we're actually going to be experimenting more on Reddit than Insta. Like Insta's still going to be a channel for us, but we're going on to Reddit. And the reason we're going on to Reddit is because Reddit is it's more text-based than Instagram, and Reddit shows up for SEO. Like Reddit, like if you're searching for something like #1 focus tool for ADHD or just any of those keywords, sometimes Reddit posts are coming up. You know, they're the ones at the top of the search. And so we're like, we need to be on Reddit. And the thing with Llama Life is we get so many emails from customers just telling us they love stuff. And we would really love it if people actually put it on Reddit versus emailing us. Because emailing us is great, but it's all behind closed doors. No one else sees that except us. We get heaps of emails, which is another reason why I knew like Llama Life, it deserves to be a product because people, they write to us telling us all this stuff. But I'm like, I wish they would put it on Reddit or something or some forum. And I still think it's better than doing like a Discord server or a Slack group for Llama Life. Reddit is a forum. It's just a public forum, but it's searchable. It comes up on SEO. And we're like, we just decided this last week, but we're going to be going all in on Reddit.
Just put all the content you already have from the emails on Reddit yourself.
Oh, the emails. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take, we'll obviously remove names and personal identifiable stuff, right. But we're just going to take an email and say like, this person had this challenge, because there's themes, there's always a theme. And like, does anyone else have, issues with this, build community around it, maybe suggest how Llama Life can help with this problem, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. And we're going to take all the articles that we have on Intercom, because we have an Intercom help guide, but that's also not searchable by Google. We're going to put those questions and all the FAQs we have on Reddit. And so hopefully that gets it a little bit more public as well. And all the stuff that you're talking about is kind of, the whole other side of like marketing and community building. And we put like a lot of effort in that versus, we still do the dev stuff. We have to, but we are definitely, like my first hire was like a marketing community partnerships, customer service. Like she does a lot of different things, but definitely she's not a dev. Basically, that's my first hire was like that type of role.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to ask because it's like a different type of the content, and I wanted to ask like how much time or effort you put into educating about the problem and then putting the solution in that, and then. Because I feel like there is an aspect with your product where there needs to be an education process before.
100%. Yeah. 100%. So we do a lot of this education in the onboarding sequence. So I 100% agree with what you said. Like you can't just put a tool out because a tool is just a tool, right? And if someone doesn't know how to use the tool, they're not going to make anything from that. Like if you just go give like a baby a hammer, you're like, they're just going to destroy stuff. They're not going to make a nice table out of that. Like you have to teach them how to use it. And it's not just teaching them about how to use the tool. It's like giving them an approach or a system that the tool will fit into. Like say you've got a productivity system and Llama Life is a tool within that system. So you have to educate how to use your tool, but you have to also give them like, here's your system. Like, okay, so a system with to-do lists might be, all right, I get all these things coming in. As soon as I get a new thing to do, I will put it in like, say I've got a to-do list at like my inbox. And then I will, so I don't lose the thought, straight away, just chuck it in an inbox folder. And then later I'll go, okay, well, where does that fit in? Is that urgent? Do I have to do it right now? Is it like a personal thing or a work thing? And then is there a due date? And then you sort that out later. Then you figure out what is most important today and you make a list and then you prioritize it, whatever. That's like the system, and Llama Life will fit into that system. So we do our education through email onboarding sequence and give people some ideas. The thing is, everybody's different, so we are not forcing an idea on, but we say, hey, here's some, I actually say, here's my system, and I tell them my system. I don't always stick to my system, but here's my ideal system that I would like to stick to. And then it just makes them think, okay, well, maybe I could do something like this, and then I go, well, here's how Llama Life fits in to that.
Yeah.
For
people that are listening, watching us, I have to say that your emails are one of the best emails I've read.
Oh,
it's so personalized. It's so lovely. So I don't want to bring marketers that just want to check out the emails, but there are marketers.
Get our conversion rate like down. No, check it out if you want. It's fine.
It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Hey, maybe they try the product anyway because it's such an awesome product. Yeah. Maybe they stick around.
Right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just post them online or something and people can just have a look. But yes, it was personal because, but the thing is, like, it's almost like I don't even need to come up with the material because it's so personal that it's like, well, here's my story. Here's why I made it. Basically, what the email is, it's like an introduction and it goes, hey, I'm Marie. I made Llama Life because of this. Here's all the problems I've got. And, ideally this person will have the same problems because that's why they're checking out the product. And then I think it's, and I say something like, I'd love to learn more about you. Here's some stuff about me. I'd love to know about you. People write back a lot, like crazy amount. And I think this is kind of a good learning as well, that it doesn't all have to be like about numbers and, MRR and stuff like that. Because in the beginning, if you get a lot of feedback like this, that might be enough to continue your product. Like that was how it worked with me, because Llama Life was free at the beginning. And I knew there was something there because of this response. And when people write back, I'm not kidding, they're not writing like one sentence. They're writing like an essay. They're telling me like their life story. I've never had this before, ever. Like my other products, no one wrote to me. No one. But suddenly I was getting overwhelmed by emails and like really overwhelmed. I'm not good with that. Like I see a block of text and I'm like, oh, I can't read that. I'm not very good at reading. So I'm like, oh, I can't read that. Like, and so I will put it off and then I'll have like 100 emails I have to respond to. And I'm like, oh my God. But that's how I knew there's something special. There's something worth continuing. This does not mean that Llama Life will be like massive successful later, but it means that there's enough to keep going for now. And I'm just looking for like a little sign, that there's something there. And the emails was a thing. It was not like, oh, I made it to this much MRR. That wasn't important at the beginning because I didn't even have pricing. I didn't have Stripe hooked up. It was more like people having like some major reaction to this, emotional reaction, writing essays. First of all, no one writes back. Second of all, they're writing back like normally no one writes back. And second of all, no, people write back one word and I was getting like a lot of text.
Yeah, that's when you've really hit something good, because people to take time out of their busy day to actually write this is just such a crazy thing to think about. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even written to somebody about their product. Like unless it was a bug or something,